And this up here is the plaster from my first contest on Ginger, whom my father killed. And I put that plaster away when they tore the grandstand down and made a bigger grandstand. And then I kept it with me for, I don't know, 60, 70 years. And then I put it in that frame to go along with the wood that I had. But let's start over here.
Okay.
I hope I have the right battery for this. Yeah, there you go. Go ahead.
This came with my great-grandmother from Portugal, and ended up in the bottom of the San Francisco Bay.
Wow.
And they went down and pulled the boat up and then pulled this up. But I'll move along. And that's Ginger.
Oh, Ginger.
And
Oh, you're so tiny.
and you see this trophy
Oh,
that
that's
I'm
your
holding.
trophy. Was that you at 4?
That's me at 4,
Oh.
1939, and there's the trophy I'm holding.
Oh.
The trophy I'm holding.
Wow.
Somehow we kept it together all these years.
That's amazing.
Bill Shoemaker, leading jockey. This is part of East of Eden,
Yeah.
and that's Dean up there with me at the top of this chute. And it's a carriage chute, slide down chute for vegetables. That's part of the movie. And this is Dean. He got down from here, went around these guys, and came right here. Pat and I had had 2 dates, both to just little movies. And I got her a job running all the girl teams that selected the vegetables. And that's Pat right there.
Oh.
So the 3 of us are in the same one.
Oh, cool.
And later, Dean was making movies and had the 3rd one done, and they were working on the 4th one to put in. This was the 1st. And he was coming up to put the money down in the escrow and had his wreck and died. So that's gone. This is a wonderful grandma, I called her. And it's a long story, but she was fantastic and ultimately just absolutely fell in love with me and followed me all over this farm. And this was one of her sons here, and he was the head guy for quite a while. This whole thing is Geronimo and post marriage church, post cereals and post cereals, all those things. CW Post, General Foods, and Post cereals. And this is him after his arrest, and this was his rifle.
Oh, really?
And this signature is legally guaranteed to be the same signature as his.
Wow.
And CW Post took him out of jail, out of prison. And Geronimo, when he died, gave all of this kind of stuff to CW Post. And this was CW Post's granddaughter right here. Marjorie Merriweather Post died. And she gave me these for the Cowboy Saloon. And that rifle, this, that, all came with the same gift from Marjorie Merriweather Post died. This table came with that iron box and went to the bottom of the bay, but they got it out. And that back bar, on the bar there,
Look at the bar.
nothing in here is fixed, like phony. It's all, those are beams from a log cabin in Kentucky where 4 world's best thoroughbreds raced. And I got the beams and I made a log house out there with them, and I put this up for the bar. The back bar was the back bar in the Jeffrey Hotel in Salinas, California, until about 48 or 9, and they were going to tear it down. Oh, I said, you can't tear it down. That's my favorite place. And that was not a back bar for booze. It was a back bar for the barber in the hotel. And he kept all of his tonics and stuff there, and clippers along on that board. And this was his chair.
I was wondering why there was a barber chair.
And when they tore the hotel down, I got this and this. And this was my first haircut. Sitting on a thing here that went across.
Oh, when you're a
And
peanut.
that's the way barbers worked.
Oh.
And they were cutting my hair when I was 6, 7 years old.
Yeah.
And went all the way through to 20 or 25 when I bought those from the teardown people to put in the log cabin. Yeah, this is the rodeo grounds I was born on.
Oh.
This is the Queen giving me my knighthood.
Oh.
And this is when she died. And Pat and I are there for the funeral. Yeah, and this here is 58 championship buckles.
Wow.
And in there are 12 world championships.
Wow.
This one is horse mastership, the best one I ever won. That was in Madison Square Garden. And it was 7 separate disciplines, including dressage, show jumping, and Western horses. And then 3 days of written examinations. That the written examinations required you that you know every part of a horse, that you know their pulse rates, that you know everything about
You
them.
didn't pass that, did you?
I did pass it, yeah. I did pass it. And I earned 1,256 points. 1,226 points. When you could earn 1,526 points.
Okay.
How that worked out, I don't know, but it did. And the second place, coming from all over the world, the second place, coming from all over the world, the second place was 710 points.
Wow.
And the parents were
Smoked 'em.
so upset,
Why?
they stopped the whole thing.
Oh,
They shut it down. It's never been done since.
since you won?
That was the last time.
That's
and
the way to do it.
That's that one right there.
Wow.
Yeah.
How cool.
And then this is Cheryl Ladd, and she was a real backup for me. She was there when I did the Shy Boy thing for the Queen. And after she was there and did that with me, she sent this through for the Cowboy Saloon. And I'm going to Argentina.
Yep. Next
And,
week, right?
These two are brothers, Carlos and Memo Gracida. He's dead and was killed a week after this picture on the polo field.
Oh.
He's alive and has a polo field now here in the valley, but spends a lot of time in Argentina. And this was the U.S. coach, and the Queen said, "You've changed the way the polo people are treating their horses, and I want to do something." And Prince Philip is so proud of you for changing this business of they made him hit horses and everything. And this is a young man from India that was a student of mine and became an instructor. And this is sorry,
That's okay.
Tara. He's from India, lived with us here as a foster son. His father had 16 or 18 kids.
Wow.
And brought him saying he only wanted horses, and he was a grain farmer over there in India. And I took him on as a foster son.
Oh.
And he lived here with us for 8 years, and then he went to Kentucky and worked for some friends of mine,
Yeah.
and I kept training him on how to do things better. And he became a champion trainer of thoroughbred racing horses for Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, the leader of Dubai.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and Tara came with him. She's now in her 20s. Tara came with him and to meet the Queen. Oh, can I meet the Queen? Can I meet the Queen? No, he said, you can come, but you don't have to meet the Queen. You can't do that. And that's Debbie. And so I didn't know she was coming. When she shows up, the Queen goes, "Oh, who are you?" She says, "I am Tara." "Oh, that's your father?" "Yes." Oh, and she does a curtsy and gives the Queen that little rose right there. And I stood back. We were at Windsor Castle at the time, and this is about 2 miles from Windsor Castle, but all on the same property, Windsor property. And so the Queen carried this around all day, meeting people throughout the time. All these people were close friends of hers, but this was the people that got the certificates for taking violence out of the game of polo. And we turned and we're going back to the carriage that's going to take us back to Windsor Castle. And Tara's walking with his father in front of us, and I was always at her left shoulder. That's me.
Yeah?
I was always at her left shoulder. And we turned right there and we're walking along. And the Queen says, "Tara, Tara." And I thought, what's happening? Everybody stopped. That's the way it's done with the Queen. Everybody stopped, and little Tara turned and looked. "Okay, yes, it's me." And she said, "Tara, I want to tell you a story about this rose." Okay. Imagine she's 9 years old here. "Tara, you take that home and you put it in a big book. And you put it on a table in your room. And you stack some more books on top of it. And in about 6 or 8 months, it'll be preserved forever. And you can tell all your friends that this rose was given to you by the Queen of England." I almost fainted. I couldn't believe what was going on. But it was a very good experience, you know. These are all things I used in various parts of the world. Pat here with her horses, this mare here won her 52 championships.
Wow.
And both on her back and in the halter as she is here, she won these championships. This is Blackie, and that's who she rode today, probably, if you saw her ride. And this is Bunny, and you might have seen him today. He's out here. This is the best horse I ever had, Johnny Tivio. He won 2 world championships for me. And here he is here.
Look at it.
And this is the horse that won both the dry work and the cutting
Oh, that you told us about.
that I told you about
Yeah.
before. And this is at the Cow Palace in San Francisco, where he won a national championship.
Wow.
And this one, calf roping and
I'll get out of the way.
and steer roping championship. And this lady put up $50,000
Whoa.
to have a contest, and she was a billionaire.
Yeah.
And she owned 6 major stallions, and they were all doing really well.
Yeah.
And he happens to be a stallion. So she said, "I want to have a contest for the World Championship Western Stallion cutting and reining." And I said, "Can you enter more than one horse? Or could I hold it to just one, you know?" And they said, "No," she said, "you could take one against them because there's no horse that could beat all of her 6. And then she could stand one of her horses as a world champion."
She didn't get to.
No,
Oh.
that's her.
Yep.
giving me the trophy that cost her, I think it was $50,000.
Yeah, that's wild. What
Yeah.
a story.
And this one, I think I mentioned to you, was Fiddle Dior, the Hackamore horse.
You told us about him.
That's Fiddle Dior. That's him there with his Hackamore on. That's him there with his Hackamore on. In some major championships. This is not him, it's a Palomino with a Hackamore on, but he won about a third of what that other horse, this horse, did. And this is my Blue Heaven, and she's down here in our graveyard, and I showed her in 53 contests without being beaten.
Wow.
53 straight wins.
That's incredible.
These guys are all legends of the half century, I think they called it.
Mm-hmm.
And Cutting Horse Hall of Fame. It was just cutting horses.
King Ray.
And these guys were fantastic. That's Don Dodge. He was helping me learn when I was in my teens, you know. And they had a vote, and these are the guys they put in as legends. And my name wasn't on the list. And this guy here, Don Dodge, that's him. This is Pocolina. He went to them and said, Monty Roberts should be a legend. And they said he's only 21 or 19 or something like that. He hasn't done enough yet. You guys are all in your 60s and 70s, and you've done your world thing. And they said, okay, well, I want him in there as, what do you call it? I can't think. Sorry.
That's okay.
Honorable mention.
Is that you?
That's me.
That's you.
And Johnny Tivio.
Oh, how cool.
But they put him in as an honorable. It's the only, I mean, all of them are made this way, but it's the only horse ever put up as an honorable mention to the legends in cutting. Yeah.
Wow.
And these are students of mine. And this young man here, I never got him till he was 38 years old. And he was born at the top of the mountain above Bakersfield, up in the really high mountains. And he had a big family, like 14 children or something like that. And he rode wild. I mean, he was a battering wild cowboy. And I get him at 38 years of age, and his father came with him over here, brought him over, said, I want him to be a champion ring cow horse rider. And he said, I'm gonna leave him with you, and you can work him a half a day and teach him a half a day, something like that. But I want him to be a world champion.
Okay.
And I said, starting at 38, you want him to be a world champion?
Wow.
That's not gonna be easy. You can do it. I'm gone. And he left him here.
Yeah.
And you just can't believe what went on, but he changed around so much. He was so country.
Yeah.
Couldn't hardly read.